to Simeon Gloria YouTube channel. I hope you've been enjoying the teaching expositions that are coming your way through this channel. Today, I bring you an exciting topic, the enemy's strategy. The enemy's strategy. Journey with me as we dive into understanding the ancient strategy the enemy has been using since the creation of the world to keep man down from the purpose of God. Our scriptural exposition will be taken from the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verses 3 to 9. It's a long reading, but traveling along with me. Matthew chapter 4, verses 3 to 9. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command these stones to be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Then the devil took him up in high city, and set him on the pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast down thyself, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in thy hands they shall bear thee, lest at any time thou dash thy feet against a stone. Jesus said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt Lord your God. Again, the devil took him up into an exceedingly high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and said unto him, All this shall be yours, if you fall down and worship me. When you look closely at the temptation of Jesus, you will see that it is not different from that of Adam in Eden. So the enemy has been using the same ancient strategy to keep men down in their story. And then what are these strategies? The number one is turning the stone of revelation into bread. Don't forget, he told Adam to eat the forbidden fruit. Why not? To Jesus, he said, turn the stone of revelation. Turn everything you know about God. Turn everything you receive about God. Turn every secret, every purpose for which you came for your eternal value to cheap bread. Because the strategy of the devil is turn your stone of revelation to cheap bread. Turn something of eternal value, something that should bless the souls of man eternally, to temporary needs. What would have happened to us if Moses has turned the revelation of the law to feed just his stomach? Or if Jesus had obeyed the snake and then turned his revelation about saving the world from sin just for miracles and then collect tithes and offering in Israel, what would have happened to man? So my question is, you that is turning the purpose of God for your life just to make ends meet, will you be satisfied in the by and by? Why turn your endowment that should have been used for eternal relevance to cheap bread? That is number one, the enemy strategy number one. The second is casting your imaginations down. So he told Jesus, cast down, just fall down and worship. Cast down your imaginations. Look down on God. Don't believe him any longer. So to Adam, he said, Did God said? Then to Eve, he said, Have God said? Casting down imagination is one of the strategies the devil used to make people doubt the omnipotence of God. When people's eyes open to start seeing what God has not done, instead of all that he has done, they start doubting him. They then deplete their thoughts and then make them less than who they are supposed to be by God. Casting down imagination is one of the terrible strategies he uses to bring men down. So it makes men start doubting their God, their source, and then believing in a lie. When men's imagination are cast down from the realm of God to a mundane realm, to the pit, they become sinners. They become less than who God created them. That's the second strategy. The third strategy is to encourage men to use all their endowments, their abilities, their giftings, their talents to worship Him on earth. Is that not why His kingdom is prospering and that of God is not? I have seen good musicians who started in church, good praise makers. I've seen talented keyboardists. I've seen talented technicians who started as church boys, ending up in the streets because they have been encouraged to use their endowment to serve the purpose of Satan on earth instead of God. So He promised Jesus to give him the kingdom of the world if only he can worship Him. How do you worship a created thing, leaving the Creator? Don't forget, every good and perfect gift comes from God. The enemy himself is also created by the same God. So why take your endowment, your talent, to worship a created thing instead of the Creator itself? One of the strategies of the devil is to encourage saints to use their endowment to serve His purpose on earth. Don't forget, the Lord's Prayer said, "Your will be done on earth, even as it is in heaven." The reason you are endowed richly, the reason you have that value, the reason that talent, that light, that understanding, that skill is with you is to move the kingdom of God forward and not to negate it. This message is coming to you, this teaching is coming to you to go back and to check if you are a slave to this strategy and then free yourself from this strategy. Don't forget, the ancient serpent has not changed its style. It only differs by situation and season, but the strategies are the same. This is opening your eyes to watch, to recheck, to double check, and then to come back to the original state. It is wonderful to walk a walk that will be remembered eternally. Oh yes, Moses might not have the best of cars. Moses might not have the best of houses. But how do we forget him in the book of Genesis? How do you forget that man in Exodus? How do you forget Isaiah? How do we forget Jesus? How do we forget Apostle Paul? Don't forget, during the time of Jesus, there were prominent men on earth. But because their giftings and their wealth and their talent was not used for eternal relevance, so they were not remembered. But we could remember Mary Magdalene, who just broke a bottle of alabaster oil. Who could remember him? You sit back and know what you are doing with your life. Walk an eternal walk, not a temporary walk. Don't turn the stone of celebration into bread. When you finish eating the bread, you will still be hungry tomorrow. The Lord bless you. May this study come as a reawakening to your heart. I still remember my humble self, Simeon Gloria. Don't fail to like, share, comment, ask questions, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Invite others to this mail. The Lord bless you. Thank you. Bye.